Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the podcast. Today, we have Prateek with me, and Prateek is an email and CRM marketing executive. And we're going to talk about his journey in the UK as an international student and then how he got his job finally. And what does the role entail? And how did he prepare for this job? What was his process? How did he answer those tough interview questions, especially the one related to visa as well? And without further ado, we'll straight away dive into the podcast. So, Prateek, welcome to the podcast once again. Could you start by telling everyone your official title and the industry that you work in?
Yeah, of course. So, hi, Sandeep bhai. Thank you for inviting me to this podcast, and hi to everybody listening to this. To start, I'm currently working as a CRM executive for one of the UK's top leading companies in insurance industry. To talk a bit about my role, to give a basic definition, CRM executive is basically a person who oversees the operation, how a company communicates with its customer by improvising it through different channels like email, SMS, or even push notifications. So that's what pretty much my job looks like.
Wow, that sounds a lot interesting. I'm sure all of us receive a lot many emails and SMSs every day. And so now we know that someone like Prateek is sitting in those companies and sending us those emails, setting up those campaigns. So thank you for that, Prateek. But what does a typical day in your work life look like?
A typical day in my life looks like basically a lot of people think that email is a very straightforward communications, but they don't understand the amount of efforts people actually put into it, amount of thought we give that what exactly we're trying to tell a customer. It's all about reaching the right customer with the right information at the right time. So you have to hit this trifecta to make sure that your communication is optimum. So my day to day looks like going in, having a detailed communication with my teammates. What exactly the agenda for the day? What's our long term goal? Where exactly are we in our campaigns? Because I have seen that there's not just one communication we are doing right now. There's not just one campaign. There are hundreds of campaign active right now. Someone is working on something else. There's different products, different layers to it. So you have to make sure that you're on top of the game and you understand where everybody's on their page. So you can sort of, make sure you work as a team.
Interesting. So, to summarize for everyone, I think Prateek said it very nicely that it's not just about sending one email or two email. It's about running multiple campaigns, and there is a large team, so you have to coordinate with all the team members. And I'm assuming these team members would be either your email marketing colleagues or your other marketing colleagues.
Yeah, the team exactly, if I were to say, they consist of designers, content writers, my managers, my co-colleagues in executive. Also, we have our product team. They have their own functions, so they come up to us that this is what exactly we want to communicate, be it a change in the policy, maybe something new is coming up in the market, or maybe the company is trying to change the dynamic or their own infrastructure. It's just to make sure that whatever the product team wants to communicate to the customers, we are the source. So they are speaking to them through us in a way.
Wow, that's interesting. Prateek, what is that one misconception that you had before entering into this role, which has now got cleared?
Yes, the biggest misconception is I would say email is a history. That's all I used to think, that nobody reads their email. It's not an optimum, way of communications, because we see Instagram or social media has such a big hype and such a great influence. But when I started studying about email or be it CRM, and I understood the amount of sales it can generate, or not just sales, I would say the amount of people who really believes in this process and the education it provide, it's astounding. And the way email I've seen, it's very fluid. It's not being threatened by AI, but it's merging itself into it, and it's evolving day by day. And I think so in coming years the email, it's just going to get stronger and much more powerful in terms of communication.
Wow, I think that's a brilliant answer, Pratik. And just to add to your point, email is not going away with AI or with emerging technologies. And I can, as a creator, also, I see a lot of creators use email marketing to build that one-to-one rapport with their audience. So it's
Yeah.
highly personalized, and that's what I think always works in favor of email marketing. I think that's a brilliant answer that you have shared. Could you tell me, if someone had to become an email marketing executive or a CRM executive today, what are the top three skills they should definitely focus on?
The top three skills, I would say, definitely learn all the platforms which are out there. There are tons of platform. You can start with literally any one of them. I know it sort of gets overwhelming because there's HubSpot, there's Mailchimp, there's Adobe. There's so many layers. As you know, it's like industry. When you change the industry, the platform changes. I would say just get on with one, learn everything about that platform, how exactly it works, how you build your campaign, how you build your template, how you build your workflows. Because I think so a lot of time it happened with me that I was very overwhelmed. So I didn't know where to start. And I think so that was the part of this journey with you, that I could actually pinpoint a lot of things on my bigger board, that this is what exactly I want to do, rather than being, just scatterbrain and doing all the things at the same time. So first I would be the best is go ahead, learn the platforms. Second would be start reaching out to the people who are already into, this industry, understand their perspective, what exactly are they doing right now, and be on the top of a game in terms of marketing industry, because marketing is a very fast paced industry. It changes every single day, so you have to make sure that you understand what are the current trends and what's the most trending topic right now to be relevant to the industry. So I think so those three are most important.
Interesting. So you said that hygiene is knowing all the
Hmm.
tools, how they
Yeah.
work, where do they
Yeah.
fit in into the bigger picture. And second
Hmm.
thing, I that's what I found most interesting. You said reach out to people who are working in these roles. And Pratik, you know what? I get this question a lot of times from people, that when we go for a coffee chat, what do we talk about? I think this
Yeah.
is exactly what you need to talk about. That how does a
Yeah.
day in their life looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So to summarize, three things is, first, learn all the tools. Second, go and have coffee chats with people who are working in these
Yeah.
roles. And third, be on top of marketing trends in general. Because if you
Yeah.
are applying to a certain company, you must know what their competitors are doing in terms of marketing. You need
Yeah.
to have that understanding.
I think so. That's one of the biggest thing appreciated in my process as well. That we did a thorough understanding of the competitors, and that's what they are doing in a real time. There, I have meetings that how our competitors are performing, and we have real data that how we can do better. So if you already have that understanding as maybe a newbie or just as an interviewer person, it just impresses them. They really like it.
Absolutely. Thank you for giving an overview of your current profile, Pratik. Now we'll go to the second phase of the interview, which is talking about the mentorship program. Could you tell me,
Mhm.
before joining the mentorship program, what were the challenges that you were facing and where were you in your job search journey?
Of course. So I started my job search journey almost a year back. I would say, yeah, in 1 month, it would be a year. The biggest thing is being an international student, you have never been exposed to this sort of pressure, because it's not just the job search. I mean, you have your own things here, your life changes so drastically, you have so much mental pressure, and then you start applying for the job. Plus, this market really overwhelms you. I personally have applied for like 1,000 jobs and I've got rejections for most of them. So it's really the biggest thing is you don't understand what's not working for you. That I am going for a final round with one company and the other company is rejecting my CV. So I was like, what exactly am I doing wrong? Why am I not good for, like I'm good for them that took me to the last interview and I'm not even good for them. So I think so this foggy brain kind of effect, that you don't understand where you're going, it's aimless. Being a part of this program really helped me pinpoint my journey, that this is what I have to do first. Like from the day one, you had an action plan, that this is what you know about yourself, this is what you know about your preferences, your career, and this is where you lack. So it was very straightforward, rather than sugarcoating and working around and wasting the time. You're very straightforward that this is you don't know, learn it, and this is where we take it. So it was like a very methodical approach to my entire process.
Yeah, I think the focus during our conversation was only to stick to the process.
Yeah.
Because if we stick to the process, the outcome is certain.
Yeah.
But most of the times, people don't believe in the process because they get so many rejections that they are like, oh, I don't want to start all over again. But that is the process that one has to follow.
Yeah, I think so. The rejections really break your morale. I think so. That's the biggest thing. And a lot of people are out here. I know a lot of people who relate to this that, you're working like a part-time jobs. I personally have worked as a front of the house or as a bartender or a server, and then you come home, then you study, apply for a job. It's really, it's difficult to stay in that zone when you're getting so many rejections. I think so that was in a way a motivational part from your side, that you always believed in me. Every time I would call you that, why this didn't work, I am not getting good results, and you always be there like, this didn't work, maybe next will. Rather than looking at any interview as a failure, you dissected it, that, let's go back and tell me what exactly you said. I remember typing and sending you all my answers,
Yeah.
and you literally went through all of them, read every answer, and told me that this answer is wrong, you shouldn't have said that. It shows the amount of, efforts you're taking for, like nobody you didn't even know. So thank you for that. Yeah, it meant a lot to me.
Okay. As an international student in the UK, Pratik, what is that one challenge which you thought is the biggest challenge in your entire journey? What was that one challenge?
Challenge, I would say staying positive. Yeah, that was the biggest challenge I have, because you don't have your family here. You sometimes, like, you have very few friends. Your social circle is quite small, and plus the pressure. There's a time bomb ticking on your head. Back in India, I didn't have that pressure, that there was no 2 year limit. I didn't have that pressure. Now I have that clock ticking on my back of the mind, that, you have a year left, a year and a half left. And the way policies are changing in this country, the pressure just keeps adding up. It's not easing out for anybody. I knew that getting the job, that was my perspective when I, like, before I joined you, that I just need to get a job and my life will be sorted. But then I realized that getting the job is just one step in this journey, just one milestone. Then you have to prove yourself, get sponsored. Those are the different conversation I wasn't even thinking about. So being a part of your program took me to depths that I didn't even know existed before.
You know what? A lot of times people come to me and tell me we are looking for a sponsored job. And
Yeah,
and I'm like, I wish I can create a video on just this answer and tell them,
I think so. Yeah,
guys, this
but
is not
that,
how
that
it works.
I think so. Yeah, it's an embarrassing thing, because that was the very first conversation I had with you, and I was like, I need to get sponsored. And I still remember you. I even mentioned this in our previous conversation, that don't tell me you want to get sponsored. Tell me what you really want in life, what you really want from your career. Leave sponsorship now. That question really hit me, that if you could do anything, what would you do? Don't think about sponsorship. And I
Absolutely.
really gave it a thought, and I came back to you after like a month and a half. Yet, I'm ready to give it all. I want to go all in with this.
And you know what? It surprises me that, and it's not actually, in a sense, it's not that surprising also because as Indians, we are just conditioned in a way to focus on getting any job.
Yeah,
We are never made to believe that we can do much more. We can choose the
yeah,
career ourselves, and
yeah,
money will be the eventual byproduct of things that we enjoy doing. We are never conditioned that way. But
yeah,
in your case, you went a step back, you analyzed what you liked, you realize what skills you have, what skills you would like to build, and then you built a career which you feel invested in. And I
yeah.
think that gives a next level of fulfillment, and that it will pay off in future definitely. The work won't feel like work at all. It will feel
Yeah.
like a learning experience, fun thing to do, and you're making money on the side.
Yeah, that's a plus actually. Yeah, you do enjoy your work, and money is just a byproduct. But that's I think so was the best part, is getting on board with you, because it's really hard that, you see so many creators are out there, so many people are posting. You are just bombarded every single day with new information. You don't know who to follow. Like, somewhere in your heart that I need a mentor. I had to go with someone, and I was giving it a really thought that, should I go with him, or what should I do about it? But you rejected me for 2.5 months. You were like, I don't have space, I don't have time, I won't be able to give you. You could have just said yes, yeah, yeah, Pratik, yeah, give me your money, come on board. And I would have been there. I was just dangling in the air. No, no, no sort of support. But you said that I'll onboard you when I feel that I am capable of giving you the right guidance. It costed me 2.5 months, but I think so. It was the most honest thing I have seen from any creators that I have personally been in touch with.
Okay. Coming back to the questions, how did you answer the sponsorship question? That's the question where most of the people get stuck. Like he, I, yeah, yeah. हाँ, हाँ. तू बोल सकता है कि I just told them, um, uh, I had some experience, so that came in handy. ठीक है? And the conversation that we had went around like that. You told them that you are sorted for the next 16, 18 months. When
I think so, yes. It was indeed us, and everybody out there who's looking at this video, they know that's the very first question they get when they get a call for any job. My approach was, I was straightforward and I was honest. Since I have a bit of an experience in this industry, it came in handy for me. But I was honest with them that I have about a year and a half left on my visa. Let me clear my probation. Let me prove you how skillful I am. Let me prove you my worth. And from then onward, we can take this conversation ahead. Or if you think that I'm not proving as an asset for this company, I'm not bringing anything plus, I would just pack my bags and leave. I think so that confidence was really somewhere they thought, maybe he has this potential, let's give him a chance, rather than just saying, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't have a visa. It just shows that you don't believe in yourself. You have to, that at some point in future you will have that conversation, and you have proved your worth.
perfect. I think a lot of people would. You mentioned asset in your answer, and that brings me to my next question. During the mentorship, we streamlined your profile. We built up certain skills.
Mhm.
Can you tell people what is the process that we followed, which helped project you as an asset to the company?
Yeah, before I was part of this program, my thoughts were very singular. I have to learn skills, I have to give an interview, I have to say the right things. But you showed me the psychological part that goes behind this process. That I used to think whatever I say during that 1 hour of interview is everything I have to do. But you showed me that, a week before that or 3 days before that, your preparation is what really, makes you like a deal breaker. Though that 1 hour doesn't matter, it's the preparation you have put into it. And I think so that approach was something very new for me. Also having weekly sessions or random calls with you, that I'm stuck here. It's not a very structured, like a rigid thing that you can only call me on weekends and only in our meetings. No, you were so flexible that I could literally drop you a text on WhatsApp or call you right in the middle of afternoon, that I'm stuck here, can you help me out? And you did. I think so that friendly approach, it wasn't like a mentorship, it's like just a big brother giving me a hand to be a better at my job.
I remember when you got the offer and you were calling me, and I was doing the grocery run, and I had these bags in my hand, and I was like, Pratik is calling, I need to drop these bags and get on a call.
Yeah.
And then I sat in the car, I called you, and then you were like, offer mil gaya, hai, we've got the
Yeah.
job. And I was like, damn, yes.
We, yeah, I remember because we were on the call prior to this interview, like till midnight. At
Yep,
12:30, we
yep.
hung up our call, and you texted me back again at 7 in the morning because my interview was at 8 o'clock. So you also literally slept for like 6.5 hours. So you were also, tuned with me, that it wasn't just like left in the like la la land, do it on yourself. You were part of, you're walking with me. That's why I didn't even call my parents. I called you first, that bhai, job lag gayi. That I knew that you understand my struggle the most in this moment, and you will really relate, and I can share that happiness with you. I think so. That's the bond I wasn't expecting. I was just expecting a guy who knows a lot about the marketing industry, and he's just gonna tell me like a teacher and a student. But I walked with a great relationship. I'm really happy for that.
Glad to know that. Coming to the next question, what is the single most valuable thing that you learned during our entire program and
Mhm.
that you also use right now in your daily life?
Most important thing, I would say, discipline. Everything I lacked, the majority part was the discipline because I was being too consumed by a lot of things. I was working like exhausting myself. I was overworking. I was reading random things which were not really useful to me. I think so. A correct approach, what I've learned, what not to read, what not to do. I think so. What not to do was the biggest gain I've got from this project because a lot of people teach you that what you have to do, but you have taught me what not to do. Ki, Pratik, don't follow this. Pratik, don't follow that. Change your approach, change your mindset. That shift is, I think so. I walked out of this program as a new person.
Perfect. Let's talk a little bit about the interview process. How did
Mhm.
the program prepare you for the interview process? Could you share with people what is the interview process approach that we follow?
Of course, our interview process is super sound. It's soundproof because the day we get our data signed that, let's say X on X day, X week, our interview is going to happen. From the day we have got that email, we start preparing for it, be it studying the company, be it understanding their competitions, understanding what tasks they have given us. I think so. As an outsider, I think so. A lot of students and international people will relate to this. You don't understand their perspective, you don't understand their side. It's the same task. You look at it in a different way, and they look at it in a different way. I think so. That perspective which you brought on board was like a game changer for me. So creating a deck, running like presentations, like we had so many mock-ups, like 3 4 times I did the presentation with you to make sure that my tone of voice is right. I didn't even know that I have to worry about this thing, that how's my tone, what's my background, how does my haircut looks like. I had like long hair, I was having like pony. So I thought, I'm just trying to be me, but you have to show discipline in every way because your face is the very first thing they see, and your voice is the very first thing they hear. So you have to sound confident, you have to look confident. And a lot of people don't practice before going in an interview because it's really hard when you're on your own. You can't really point out your mistakes. That's, I think so, was the biggest drawback, that nobody likes being told they're wrong.
Yeah.
But I had to listen to it, and
That's
it
the
has
hard
worked.
part about my job as well. Like I have to tell people where they are not right. And
Yeah,
sometimes it could be very it could be taken as a setback also by anyone,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So but that's what people come to me for, like proper guidance. And I think it's part of job to be bluntly honest about things
yeah,
which are right, which are not right. Because
yeah,
if you say them, then you acknowledge them, and then you act on them, and then only you improve. That's the only
yeah,
way that you will come out of it. If you don't even acknowledge it, it will
yeah.
be just the same.
That's true. Because the preparation we have done for interviews, I didn't feel the pressure going in and speaking with them because it was just another mock up. It's just a different phase, different time, but I'm doing the same thing again. It's it's how hard you prepared me for them. I think so. They were a bit lenient than you when it comes to interview. I think so. You're like, yeah, this seems easy.
Yeah. So, second last question, Pratik. Why would you recommend the mentorship to anyone who is looking at this video right now?
I would 100% recommend a mentorship because you don't understand what's wrong in you on your own. And the amount of pressure you have, you're just wasting your time by fighting this, just on your own. Rather than having a mentor, it just gives you like a direction. And I'm not just saying that, be come and join Sandeep Bhaiya's course. Be it any mentor, it just you have to make sure that you can put that faith into that person. And looking at your track record, looking at the amount of videos you are doing, or my personal experience, That's why I would say that, join Sanjeev Bhaiya's mentorship, because he's not here to make money, but you're honest with yourself. I think so that's one of the biggest reason I would make people, like, would like to tell them that please be a part of a mentorship program.
Yeah,
Yeah, but make sure that your creator has that credibility, because we come here, we work this like thousands of job, and we put our hard earned money like blood, sweat, and tears into this, and we have to make sure that we are not wasting our money. Because already you're getting disappointment from job, then you get a bad mentor, it just ruins. And I have seen people, with a broken morale going back home. It's really difficult, so find a good person. That's why it's important, finding a good person.
perfect. And building on to this question, Pratik, you mentioned a very important point of check the credibility of the person you are going to be investing your hard-earned money in.
Yeah.
How do you do that credibility check? What is the process that you followed that others can maybe also follow to find their right mentor or the right community to support them?
I would say look at their track record. If they have a social media handle, if they have any sort of communication to you, just go deep diving into it. Look at what sort of opinions they have, how exactly they have, helped students, or if anyway you can reach out to any of their ex mentees. Do reach out to them, because I know that if anybody reaches out to me tomorrow and looking for opinion that should I join your course, I can take that, what you could say, credibility on myself. Yeah,
Hmm.
if you can't find any person vouching for him or her, you know that they are doing something wrong, that nobody's talking about them or nobody's supporting them. Don't just go for followers, don't just go for the numbers, go for the quality. See what sort of content they bring. And the most important thing, just listen to your gut. You speak for the person, you speak to the person like few conversation, and your gut tells you that is he right or wrong. Just listen to your gut feeling and you're good to go.
Awesome, awesome. Bringing to my last question, if someone wants to break into a marketing career in UK right now and they've come to
Hmm.
UK as an international student,
Yeah.
what is that one or two piece of advice that you'd like to share with them? Because where this question is coming from is a lot of people want to be in marketing, but they
Hmm.
don't know the starting point.
Yeah.
So what is that one or two piece of advice that you'd like to share with them?
I would say start early. I used to think that, my job seeking journey would start when I get my PSW. I think so. That's where I somewhere lacked. Start your journey the day you land here, or even before that. Prepare yourself for UK market, because the marketing which is done in India is a lot different to what marketing, norms are followed in UK. So try and enroll yourself in any sort of system, be it unpaid internship or paid internship or just a volunteer work. Try and be part of an organization to understand how they work, how they think. Because end of the day, it's just a communication, one person or an organization trying to talk another person. It's
Absolutely.
the most natural thing they are doing, so you have to understand the psychology behind them. So learn everything about the current industry trends, start learning the skills and the platform, because nobody cares about where you're from, what you do. They care about how much do you know, how can you solve my problem at the end of the day. If I come to you, that's all they care about. If you can solve one of their problem, you're good to go.
So to summarize, be an effective communicator,
Yeah.
have the right skills, and that's the hygiene. That's the basic thing that you have to do. Skills. On top of it is communication, and third is be a problem solver.
Yeah.
Right. And I would add one more. If you really want to be in marketing, think like a marketer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Don't
Care
consider
about
it
your
as
skills.
just a job which will pay you money. Think how brand managers would think about it. Care for that brand like a mother would care for their baby or a father would care for their baby, because at the end marketing is about delivering results, and if you don't care about your product or the company, then you won't be able to deliver
Yeah,
the
that
results.
that that point, brings me back to the conversation we had. That previously I used to go in for interview like beggar, like, please give me this. This is what I have. But you told me that don't go selling yourself anything. Go there like you're a company they have hired to solve a problem. Go there like a partner. Don't go there like, as a person who is being interviewed, because subconsciously you are thinking that they are above you. When you think of yourself as a company on your own and we are here to solve your problem, you put, you know, each other in an equal ground, and your confidence just shoots, and your conversation changes entirely. That your approach changes, that I know who I am, I know my worth, this is what I'm take, without being arrogant, just being confident that I know what I'm doing.
I think it also flicks a switch in your head wherein
Yeah,
you're not fearing the conversation now and you're curious about it and you're
yeah.
learning.
It just takes the monotonous tone out of it. You don't talk like and sound like a robot to them, you sound like a human.
Perfect. And just to sum it up all, there's always one thing which I tell people when they go into interview, that try to have a conversation for entire hour or go beyond it. Don't
Yeah,
just come back in 40 minutes. That should be your
yeah,
first goal if you've just started giving interviews. And the entire
yeah.
thought behind that is be curious. Try to have that
Yes.
conversation at the same level first.
Yeah. And be genuine when you ask the questions, because
Yep.
there are hundreds of lists out there which are telling you what to ask in an interview, but they can literally tell from your face, do you really care? I think so. That's why it relates to the very first question you asked me, what exactly you want to do. Because if I don't like my job, I'm here just for a sponsorship. I'm not gonna mean it that how I can improve your business. You have to really like what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Prateek. I'm sure a lot of people would get a lot of insights from this, not just about mentorship, but also about marketing roles. How does an email and CRM marketing executive operate? And people, if you feel like, feel free to contact Prateek. Go check out his LinkedIn profile. Reach out to him. If you want to learn more about email marketing, Prateek is the guy I would say right now. And if you want to learn about marketing in general, feel free to book a one-to-one session with me or just drop me a text. I'm easy both ways. And thank you, Prateek, for joining us today.